Hello, Targa friends. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another Orc Mode workout. And I realized today coming into the workout, I'm not really going to do any upper back pulling. I feel like my biceps and my bicep connective tissue is bordering on almost not being able to recover because I hit some really good weighted chin-ups in the last couple of weeks, and then I hit a max after doing my press on my max effort day. And I feel like that's kind of all my biceps can handle. And if I go too much further, I might be pushing them a little bit into kind of an overreaching state. And so I thought today, let me just focus really heavy on all my pressing for my dynamic day. And maybe during my deload, I'll do a few bodyweight chins and I'll just do a lot of active recovery. And later today, I will do like a ton. I'll probably do like 5 sets of band face pulls so that my biceps will get some active recovery. So that when we get well into next week, we finish that half week deload, we can get back to going hard and heavy and keep getting stronger on the chins, right? And keep getting the volume on the weighted chins also, because that's what we need for bicep growth, for lat growth, all that stuff. All those muscles I need to stabilize on my pressing. So the floor press went pretty good. Again, some of the sets felt a little slower for the dynamic work. But again, just adjusting the grip and remembering to grip it really tight, find that bar path. Part of me wants to go over to a bench press for the dynamic chest pressing, but I feel like the floor press has given me so much mileage so far. I feel like even sitting at this same body weight, trying to get my body set points changed before I cut again, I feel like it's really done a good job for me. I feel like it's carried over to my flat bench. I feel like it's carried over really well to my standing press while allowing me to use a slightly lighter weight so that I'm not really fatiguing my wrist and things quite as much. Because again, you're using a lighter weight. I use about 20 pounds less on a floor press than I can bench. Now, some people say, well, I use a little more on the floor press. Well, yeah, if you have a smaller torso, but I have a really thick back. I have a thick rib cage. For me, a floor press, I can touch my chest, if you guys notice. Really, I only lose about 2 inches out of what I could sink into my chest on a bench. So for me, it ends up being a lighter weight. I cannot do quite as much. Like you guys noticed, my last floor press max was 10 pounds less than my previous bench max, but I feel like my bench is probably up at least another 10. So, we'll see where the bench is at though. I feel like with my JM presses having gone up, I feel like with my standing press jumping 15 pounds again, between this last month, I feel like my bench is probably going to be up a good amount. I think when we test the next bench max, I'm going to see hopefully a 10-pound increase. Maybe a 15, but I'm not going to bank on it. I mean, even a 5, I'll be happy. God, if I could add 5 pounds to my bench every month, I mean, that would be great if you could do it for an extended period of time. So, I'll be happy with any increase because at this point, all strength gains are good. I mean, if I'm gaining strength without gaining body weight after a cut, while I'm trying to get my body used to this lighter weight, then I'm going to be happy with that. Because that's the name of the game. And I've got to remind people, keep asking, Jason, are you still cutting? Are you cutting? It's like, why would you guys ask that? It's like they haven't watched any of my training videos if they're asking that, right? They haven't watched them because I haven't lost body weight since last year, right? And I've made that clear. I'm just going to try to stay under 220 for a while. And that's the goal. Regain strength-based work capacity, get in better shape, get stronger, get fitter after having dropped, 40 pounds of body weight, and let my body get used to it, right? Get some metabolic adaptation, keep pushing my energy turnover higher, get my work capacity up, get my strength up at this body weight. And then when my body finally decides, hey, this is a great body weight to be at, and then it doesn't want me to try to gain weight again because then it's comfortable at it because it's about changing set points. I mean, guys, this isn't a bodybuilding channel. This is fitness and athleticism. We've got to worry about set points because anyone who's serious about their fitness or making weight classes in a sport, you can't do like bodybuilders do and just cut down and lose all your performance just to be cut for 3 weeks and then, balloon 30 pounds back up. All right, we're not trying to do that. I'm not trying to do that. So it's not this end result. People are always like, oh, just finish your cut. Well, every bodybuilder who just finishes their cut, they all get fat again. I mean, there's some guys who I like and I'm friends with who you see do it. They get down like 8% body fat and then they're back up to 18% body fat within 12 weeks, right? I'm not going to name any names, but what good is that? That's not going to help me. How about I just stay under 18% body fat and gain as much strength and muscle as possible without bulking? That's the name of the game for me. And then when my body has finally been at this weight 6, 7, 8 months and it's comfortable with it and my metabolism is up, then we say, okay, let's cut the calories, 300-400 calories. And let's see if we can drop another 20 pounds, right? And then repeat the process. Because I mean, even if I can get down to 198-ish, 200, and then try to gain strength again down at that body weight, it'll be good. But I mean, realistically, we need to have the same goals I had at 240, 250 plus, down at under 220, right? Get my bench as high as possible. Keep my press at least 225. Maybe try to get it to 230. Actually, I challenged Devin Palumbo to race him to a 230 press because he said he's about to break 220 again, and I'm not going to bulk, so he's going to have a nice chance to catch me because we're not going to be that dissimilar in body weight. I'm going to race him to 230. We'll see who can get there. So remember that, Devin, 230, racing you. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing. But standing press, yes, and I'm going to do these shirtless because people are like, we want to see what your back looks like doing these. And no, I'm not worried about the fat. Yes, I've got loose skin still from getting fat. Yes, it's coming over my belt a bit. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Most of the people who are talking smack are probably, weak anyways. Or they're young kids who are anorexic. So I don't care. You know what? I've got a beat up body. My body's been through some shit. I've been through some shit. Is what it is. But that'll tighten up as I get leaner later. Probably when I drop another 20 pounds of fluff, that extra fat that kind of sticks at that skin will dissolve down, and the skin will go ahead and tighten up more. Because that loose skin is ultimately the fact that you have loose skin with fat still adhering to it. But pressing, I probably went 5 pounds heavier. I calculated this off of my max because I got that 225 press again. So I calculated it 80%, that's 185. Let me do that for a bunch of doubles for dynamic work. And it got really heavy. I only had 8 sets. I felt like had I done a 9th set, I would have had to grind on it. But 8 doubles for dynamic work after having done the floor press, I can live with it. But I've got to remember, I've been doing 175, a 10-pound jump for dynamic work. Probably got a bit too aggressive, but it's fine because it's still quality work, and I'm coming into a half-week deload. So I will probably grow from it. So, I'm happy with it. It's still quality work, even though realistically, had I gone just 5 pounds lighter, I probably could have got 10 sets instead of just 8, and it would have gone a hair faster. So, sometimes we've got to check our ego, but I still got a solid training effect from it. But I feel like with the extra tricep work I did, and then I'll do a bunch of face pulls later, my shoulders and my triceps and everything should go ahead and grow this weekend during my chilling. Because again, you recover, give myself a few days to recover, just active recovery work, deloading for 4 or 5 days. And then we come back and start hitting it hard again. Probably Thursday, we'll have a real workout again this next Thursday and Friday. So, everything should be good. Hopefully I will gain a little bit of muscle in those areas. And I feel like because I'm getting stronger at these JM presses, my triceps should grow a bit. Also, you guys can see my back from behind. See, I do have traps, guys. I don't know why people come up with that nonsense. If you don't have traps, and that's from a low angle, all right? From a low angle, I've got traps. No, I don't have traps of a guy who's on 2 grams a test. I have traps. They could always be bigger, and they'll get bigger as my deadlift and my press go up. JM press. Finally got the weight right, because I feel like the last couple workouts I do an AMRAP at the end, and then I crank out way more than 10, like 17 or 18. It's like, okay, this is too light. We bumped another 5 pounds, which puts us 20 pounds heavier than where we started with these. And I was struggling to get like 6 or 7 reps, 20 pounds lighter. We got 5 sets of 10 with it today. So my strength is going up on these, and I'm really hoping, because my overhead press went up, and this is a more bench-specific tricep exercise. So my accessory movement for 5 sets of 10 is now 20 pounds heavier than where I started. I'm hoping All right, I'm gonna cross my fingers. I'm hoping that's gonna translate to another 10 pounds on my bench. All right. I'm hoping, and I'm also hoping that by the time I get this up another 20, because what's the goal? This is 115. I want to get it to 135 for sets of 5. That's kind of a benchmark I've set for this accessory movement. I feel like when I get it there, then my triceps are going to be strong enough to match the rest of my body for my bench pressing. And my bench should go up again proportionate. I'm hoping that'll put another 10 to 15 on my bench. Maybe I'm being optimistic, but we'll see. We'll find out when we get there. But I feel like all the floor pressing, all the overhead pressing, all this extra JM pressing is going to translate to more bench strength. And it has so far. I mean, if I calculate off of that triple I did for back off work with a pause, it was clean. If I calculate off that, we should see at least a 10-pound jump next time I go for a max bench. We should see a 10-pound jump. But, we'll get to it and see what we can hit, right? I mean, you don't know till you get there. You can calculate, this is what I think my max is going to be. We can calculate that all day long. You don't know till you get under the bar and you lock it. So we'll find out. But I think 10 pounds is realistic. Right? I think 10 pounds is realistic. 15 would be great. And if I can, I'll do that. But I'm not necessarily going to bank on that. I don't want to gamble on that. But I feel like 10 pounds is going to be good. But I don't want to sell myself short either. But I got the weight right this time because my AMRAP, I couldn't have done an NREP. I struggled to get this 10th rep. My 5 sets of 10, by rep 8, my triceps were cramping so bad that I was afraid I wasn't going to be able to finish the set. So we got the weight right this time. Again, workload is appropriate. Hopefully my tricepticons are going to grow a little bit from it, right where I need them to. So I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.